Doing great.
I noticed one thing. My name's Alan Boyle. I'm a police lieutenant with the Dallas Police Department. As I sat there looking back, this sort of reminds me of a police detail. Because in a police detail, all the old wily cops sit in the back, and the young whippersnappers sit up front. So, I know what y'all are, so what's that say about y'all? I don't know. What Santa Cops is when police officers answer calls, and we see these people that are going through the very tough times in their lives, or when kids at school, the ones that have no lunch money and those things, and teachers or counselors become aware of them, they submit these nomination forms. And then we solicit toys from various groups, such as your class, gather the toys, and police officers fill these out, or counselors, things like that, and they have a big warehouse, and they do their best to meet the needs or wants of those little children, whether it's clothes or toys. And they did a video this year. So I'm going to try to look at that. Let you watch the opening video. And boy, it paused in the right spot, didn't it?
Right on us.
You know how long it took to get for me to plan that?
Uh-oh. There it goes. Oh. Well,
This big a church, y'all got this slow a Wi-Fi? Wow.
that's what I was saying.
Wi-Fi, yeah.
I must be related to my phone. It was only a minute long, but
Yeah,
maybe 5 minutes.
it's a minute 26 long, isn't it?
It's buffering out there. Watch you see it on.
Yeah, follow it.
Oh, there you go. Oh, my.
Okay, I'm impatient. If it stops again, I've already seen me twice. I'm happy. I want to see some of the kids. I know why. It's slow Wi-Fi.
Look at that little dragging his scooter. He claimed it. He claimed that one. So hard. Well, the other ones are just still
I don't
pictures.
know why it's so small. We really made pause and just go through.
Hang on, it should
It
finish.
should only be a minute and a half. All right, watch this. We'll pause for sure. We'll let everybody. Don't worry about that. I'll come back. This year, I truly have been doing Santa Claus. I was trying to think before Sunday school class for decades, absolute decades. Lost track, have no idea, don't care. It's fun. This year was probably, if not one of my favorite years ever, one of my favorite years ever, because we all know what Christmas is about. We know the meaning of Christmas, but I saw it again, just a punch in the face. And this, to me, I was thinking driving over here, how do you build this up? Because to me, it was like a symphony where it started out with the violins and the clarinets and the flutes, and as we progressed through the day, whew, I may start crying on you later, because it was a crescendo of drums and timpani drums and all, because it was just an incredible journey in that, 7, 8 hour day. It was just, because over the years, I have 4 daughters. My oldest is 34. And so we've been doing it since she was a little girl. And then now that I've met Mindy and we've married, she has a daughter. Her daughter's been going with us. So different people have come throughout the years. And as we started this journey out, you'll see, I'm going to take you through an 8-hour day in about 20 minutes. It was great, but then it was, just truly off the chain, and I hope I can convey just 1 to 5% of the love and the warmth that we felt that day. It starts out, our first house we go to, it's at a garage apartment, and we pull up, and this is, oh, by the way, if you know anybody in these pictures, because you may, I expect everything to stay in here. This is very confidential. And because I found that I knew somebody that I was delivering to. And so that breaks your heart when you don't realize, wow, this person is somebody, I have connections to them, and I didn't realize how desperate their situation was. So the first place we go to says a garage apartment. And we go over and it's in the middle of, the hood. It's a very low income area, and you pull up, and there's the old junkyard dog right outside the door. And I've been a cop for 37 years, and I'm scared of dogs. I don't like dogs because I've been bit multiple times by dogs. So, you don't do the allergic. I'm not giving you your toys until you get your dog out of the front door. And they got the dog, and when we walk up, and they got the dog inside, and we knock on the door, and when you walk in the garage apartment, I was asking Mindy last night, you can see wires and stuff. There's no entry into a living room. There's nothing. You walk in, it's the garage. They've got multiple kids living there, and there's wire. I mean, it's just, and you go here, and the kids weren't there, but it just starts off that way. And part of our fun is, let's be honest, is to see the kids get to be Santa Claus or Santa Cops.
The kids weren't there.
Yeah, the kids weren't there, so I mean, you can see there's the bars on the door.
Yeah, that's the door.
Yeah, that's the way they did. Bars on the door there, and the dog's right there. But when you walk in, there's nothing. So we did it, and something else. And I'll be very straightforward with you. Sometimes when you deliver, you see these people and you go, wow, that's a nice looking lady, or the house is okay. And you get chinchy, would that be the right word? You go, I don't know if they really deserve it. And it's not my place to call, but we do, we're human. And you go, I'm telling you, this year, throughout the day, he kept saying, wow, we hit a home run. Everybody that was nominated needed it, as you'll see. It's a phenomenal day. But that's how we started out. And like I said, we want the fun of wearing the Santa Claus hat or taking pictures of the kids and seeing the joy. But then you got to remember what the true meaning is. And that's our reminder. We start getting selfish for what I want out of this day. I want to have fun. So we go to the first house, and that was it. Then we go to the second house. Let me refresh my memory very quickly. Mindy wrote notes for me. Oh. This was another situation. It was a grandmother raising 4 kids. This one was a grandmother raising some kids. And that's the fun of it, But then there were 4 kids, but the other 3 were at the other grandmother's house. And so we just took a picture of one toy. We have a bunch of toys. We deliver them. We tried to take some of the toys that y'all gave, because when I go with Mrs. Peck and we deliver all the toys to the warehouse, we try to pull back 2 or 3 so y'all can see your toys. So I don't know in these pictures if you'll see your toys or not. So there's a good example of what our selfishness wants. We want to see the joy in the kids, because it invigorates and energizes us. But see, look at that. That looks sort of nice, doesn't it?
Remember that when it was her birthday too, and she had already opened one present, so her mother told her that was her. She could have one present out of that for her birthday, and then the grandma was going to go wrap the other ones.
Well, yeah, something else that we forget. Like I said, I hate to tell you these things because it's my own humanity. But we want to give all the toys, and we want to open them, and we want to, I'm a kid at heart. I'm 10 years old. Oh, yeah. And this is maybe the first year, really, I realized you should, because these families, we delivered like the Saturday before Christmas, or in this case, it was 2 Saturdays before Christmas because of the way the holidays fell. And so, you'd think as old as I am, although I'm not as old as y'all, so I feel better. You would think as old as I realize this, and we finally started, because Mindy on that particular house made a comment about, well, save one of the presents for her birthday. And they're like, you know what? Save all these presents for Christmas. Because we get caught up, and we want to see the kids get excited because I'm delivering the toys. And that's not what we want. We want them to have those toys Christmas Day. And just one of those moments where you go, gosh, you're so stupid, Alan. and then you realize it. And so we started telling people that, and just a phenomenal day. So we meet, but that's a nice house. Well then, oh yeah, we went to this house. I'm going to show you a picture. There's nobody there at this house again. That's why these people are needy, but you're going to hear the crescendo later. And so we go to this house, and I mean, gosh, I really thought it was a vacant junk house.
It's terrible.
Nobody's there. I knock on the door. I mean, it was horrendous, deplorable. Like I said, I've been out for 37 years, one of the worst houses I've ever seen. And then I saw some little boys 2 houses down, went out and talked to them, then the mother comes out, we talk, and she says, oh yeah, they live there. They bought it that way.
They moved in that way,
Yeah.
they didn't buy it, yeah.
Well, yeah, right, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
yeah,
they
that's
didn't buy it, yeah.
middle class America, they rented it that way.
Oh, it's terrible. Somebody should not have even leased this house to them.
And
It has saran wrap
You
on the
cannot
windows.
begin to see, but because Mindy stayed in the car, I went around back, it was just deplorable. you
Just
know.
junk and old couches, you see on the porch, it's all old couches and,
And so like I took the
Oh,
toys
it's
and I hid them
terrible.
behind a deal on the door so nobody could see them. And I think really what Mindy said, because I'm a cop, I went ahead and tried to break in the house, see, knock on the door, push the door, do things that I don't mind doing. Because we're in uniform. And I think what Mindy said, that they're probably illegal aliens, afraid to answer the door.
the father had been deported and it was 11 and a 12-year-old girls.
Right.
It was like 2 girls that were living in that. Saran wrap is on the windows, that's how bad it was. That's not windows, that's saran wrap.
So at this
It was
point,
terrible.
we have said, gosh, I'm glad Heather, Mindy's daughter, didn't come because she came with us the past 2 or 3 years. And like I said, we're doing the deliveries. We know these people need it. Well, then we go to an apartment complex over in East Dallas. And it's a low-income apartment complex. And it's very diverse. There were, blacks, whites, Latinos, all live in this apartment complex. And I'm laughing and joking with everybody. And we walk over and we deliver our toys to what appears to be an illegal immigrant. Young lady, 2 kids. We give her our toys, and she doesn't speak English, but I can speak Spanish. But it was one of those deals you could tell that she was surprised. Whoever nominated her did not tell her. Because sometimes they sort of know you're coming, and sometimes you really just catch them totally off guard. You don't know what they know or don't know. So we go to this house, and we make our delivery. And we were having sort of trouble finding the apartment number, 1049, and just asking people, hey, where's 1049? And this big old Hispanic dude, he's like, hey, let me show you, it's over here. So we go over there and we just make the delivery, truly 2 to 5 minutes at the most, bring the toys in and that's it. And as we walk out, he says, yeah, I gave her a big teddy bear last week. I said, really? What's her issue? What's the story behind her? He says, I don't know. So I said, well, then why'd you give her a teddy bear? What made you do that? He said, I saw the late rent due on her door, and I knew she needed something. And, I told you, I'm a big baby, I may cry. But I said, wow, that's awesome, dude. That's awesome. And as we start talking, his name's Francisco. I wanted him to be here today. He's become my friend. And as we start talking, he says, hey, what I do is I don't know if I want to do this now or later, build up. But Francisco says, hey, I build toys. This company sends me prototypes, I build them, and then I send them over to China. China does what China does, and why Trump's all upset. They make the product a lot cheaper, send it back here, and then y'all buy it for Santa Claus. That's how the toys are made. And he says, I do that, and I got 2 or 3 you can have. And we go inside his apartment the first time, and just sort of scan. We're not there very long, and I'll tell you why in a moment later. He says, and I still have the prototypes. You can have them. You can donate them. And I said, dude, these are like $200 prototypes. Put them on Craigslist. Sell them, make some money. He's in the same apartment complex that this lady's in. And he says, no. He says, this is my way of giving back. And I said, these are $200 toys. And as I talked to Francisco, he's an ex-con, been to prison, has some charges pending out of Garden Police Department. Aggravated assault, pointing a gun at somebody allegedly, depends on who you talk to. And it's funny because I'm an old guy talking to him. We're straight with each other, You're a bad guy, I'm a good guy. That's just the way life is. That's the way our journeys have taught us. But I can still treat you with dignity, and you treat me with dignity, we'll get along. And he said, you come back later, and I'll give you some toys. And I said, okay. Just
Because
remember that.
he had just given her one of those big Lego tables too.
No.
Wasn't it?
Just a teddy bear. Just
Oh,
teddy
I
bear.
thought it was a Lego
No,
table.
just teddy bear. So then, our next house plays a role in the house we just came from. This lady, She had 3 children, and her husband had just been murdered. And remember these kids. We'll come back to these kids later.
They were so cute. Oh, so cute.
Now, look beneath that tree.
There's nothing.
That's the kind of stuff, there's nothing there. I mean, this is what Santa Cops is about. Those kids would not have a Christmas if it wasn't for your class and other classes and other groups and other families that donate. This is what Santa Cops is about. This is obviously, like I said, her husband murdered, 3 children, no toys, just doing the best she can.
It was very clean, it was very nice in there. The kids were just as cute as they could be. And so we gave them, what, 2 apiece, and then the rest of them, we told her to put,
Yes,
put them in
that's
the
what's on.
tree.
Hey, happy Christmas. Now, we got a short video, unintended, I think, but you could hear the little girl laugh. It
You see the smile on their
made
faces.
Mindy smile to see this little girl smile. Let's see if I can. There we go. Oh gosh, let's see if it's gonna work. Well, we'll find out. Well, you know what? Because it's maybe later. Never mind. You hear the kids giggle. Oh no.
No,
We've launched another world. But anyway, we're going to come back to that family. Oh, man.
whoops.
Also, I'm going to do some ordering from you, okay? Y'all want to buy some stuff since you special pricing?
Paul said, no, don't do that.
Oh, man, this is what happens when you use your own laptop. Get out of here. Get out of here. All right. I said, we'll come back to it in a minute. So we go from there. And I met Frankie Toys. Now, this is one that breaks my heart too. I gotta make sure I use the right pseudonyms. Because I worked with a lady, and I'll call her Mindy. That way it's easier. Remember, I worked with a lady named Mindy. And back in the late 80s. And Mindy's name is on this sheet. And I'm saying, well, this is it's BS. I don't like people that are abusing the system, And I felt like I was wrong. This is where you get humbled again. I felt like, wow, why is Mindy asking for toys for her kids? We worked together years ago. She has a real job and all that. And it was Mindy's grandkids, basically. We went to this house. He was a trailer out in a deep, deep Kleberg and all that. And wow, this is a really bizarre story. I want to tell y'all, but this has got to remain absolute, utmost confidential out of respect for everybody. Because I meet Mindy's daughter. I now feel funny using the word Mindy. Let's call her Lisa. This is bizarre. I meet Lisa's daughter. And I've known Lisa for 35 years, off and on like we do through Facebook and things like that. And that's Lisa's daughter, that's Lisa's daughter's kids, that's Lisa's grandchildren. And they were of utmost need. And then I met,
They both lost their jobs, was the mom
Right.
and dad.
but the dad was out looking for a job, it was a Saturday morning, or Saturday noonish. And when I talked to the daughter, she says, hey, did you know my dad? Because the dad was a police officer. Lisa worked for the police department, and the dad was a police officer. And I said, yeah. And she told me the name. And then I realized in this convoluted failure of humanity we call life, that we all have our own drama, is that woman was the love child. Because, then you go, wow, is she mad at her? We're talking years gone by. Well, so what do you say about her dad? He's a sorry SOB because, her dad was a hard-working guy, and I knew him. But you don't want to, just a fine line. And then what had happened was her dad, years later, had another love child with another woman. And the wife finally decided to give up. And then he murdered his wife. And then he killed himself. And so the drama they've had in their life, you know, here her dad is not, it's a love child. And then, you know, he murdered the mother, because her mother's here. Her mother's Lisa, remember? And it was so, I can't think of the right word I'm talking about. I'm very open-hearted. It was such a sad, sad situation, or disgusting. It was just filthy. Mindy said, let's go. I'm ready to leave. I can't because the smell was overcoming Mindy and some of the sights that we saw that I won't go into. But I knew this woman, and my heart was touched by her because, you know, I know her dad, but her dad, you know, she doesn't think well of her dad, trust me. And you stay there. But that was Santa Cops right there. You could feel the crescendo building. Go, wow, these people needed it. It was whoever nominated Lisa knew the right thing. It's just, that's why I do Santa Cops right there. The lady, her husband murdered. This one is just a mess. Just a mess.
But look at his face.
Oh yeah, we'll get that picture.
Oh, he was so excited.
Yeah,
So excited. Yeah, they were in deplorable conditions. It doesn't look it there, but ooh, it's bad.
Yeah, maybe someone look at his face. We were going through this, you know.
Look at his face.
Yes, sir.
Has a perfect face.
That cute.
So then we go to our next house. This lady, once again, we walk in, and she is another one of what I say is great Santa Cops. The reason I get into it, because change the subject, just stop, pause, like freeze, like the video. The Dallas Police Department used to have a program, I was talking to Mindy the other day, called Cruising in the Right Lane. Because we always give scholarships, gifts and stuff to people that are poor or, you know, low income, minority, whatever, the special kids, they always get it. But we had a program called Cruising in the Right Lane where we recognize kids that are doing the right things. They're raised with good families and, you know, just kids that are just doing the right things. They're cruising in the right lane. And so this is a good example. This lady is, about $10 an hour security guard at North Park Mall. She's doing the best she can. She's not unemployed. She's not ignorant, stupid type stuff. She's trying to make her life. But life is against her as far as her opportunities and her education, things like that. She's a security guard at North Park Mall. She has 4 kids. That's their apartment. And I'm going to walk over here in front of this stuff. There's nothing, this whole apartment is bare. This is where these kids live. This place is bare. Like Mindy said, she's got, you know, not
Pictures
Polaroids, but
stapled.
just those pictures in a cross of her kids. I mean, there's no TV. There's nothing. Look at the TV there. That's the fireplace.
Yeah, that's the
That's the
fireplace.
fireplace.
There's a broken down couch right
Yeah.
on the side that maybe she.
Yeah,
pulled
right
out.
here.
No, on the right side right here.
Well, over here where the kitchen's at, her radio, stereo, it's her telephone. Everybody's got a telephone nowadays, you know, and she's just got her telephone on, playing music. There is nothing in this house. Nothing. There's no Christmas trees. There's nothing.
Nothing.
And she has 4 kids, and that's why when she was one that didn't have a clue that we were coming. And like I said, it breaks your heart. And that's, I'm laughing because we always hide extra toys here and there, you know. And that's the one, once you find out, oh baby, I love you, you're in need. Yeah,
Start grabbing.
we'll give you everything, we'll follow up. Yeah,
Start grabbing more. Oh, we had that as an extra one. That's
Yeah,
an extra
yeah,
one. Okay.
that was one. See how it's building up? I mean,
Yeah.
it's just, the day's getting, I don't know what the right word is, by no means is it better because we're finding people in more difficult conditions. Well, this is the one who lived with his grandmother. Same type
It was
situation.
very clean, very nice in there.
She was excited. Went, hey, that movie camera, stuff like that.
Yeah, she took a picture too, so.
I'm trying to make sure I get enough time for the ending to. Okay, this one. This is another one that just like, boom, I love it. It's just what, it's the reason I do Santa Cops. I speak from my heart. So we go, and it's a guy. Usually you don't have men's names because it's my own sexist attitude. If I see a guy pull up, hey, they don't, you know, he needs to be working longer hours. That's just that's the way I look at it. You know? You don't need Santa Cops. You need to work 2 jobs, son. That's my attitude. And so it's a single guy, and I used to talk to the man on the phone when we say, hey, this is Santa Claus or whatever, they know we're coming. So you get there, and I wish he was here, I would tell him to his face, it's no big deal. He looks what we all perceive as a thug, you know, black guy, tatted out, the whole shebang, good shape. But I'm talking to him, and he had 2 children. That's it's
Two
hard to tell,
boys.
but that's a boy, yeah.
Yes,
So
2 boys.
He's got 2 sons. The mother took them away from him and moved to Houston. And within the past week or 2 weeks prior to us showing up, so I don't know how quick the call must have been, the mother drove up from Houston, dropped the sons off, and said, I don't want them anymore, they're yours. So now he's a single dad. He's probably, what, 25, 26,
Yeah.
remember? You know, young dude.
Yeah.
And 25, 26, working out like a processing factory. And to interrupt and change stories again a little bit, and talking to Francisco, the guy from the toys earlier, when I told him about this man, because a lot of things start intertwining. It's a very interesting day. He said, I used to work there. That's some hard, laborious work. Very, very labor-driven, hard hours. Anyway, so look around, look at the back. There's nothing. You know, the old couch, there's nothing on the walls. It's just especially a man. You know how unorganized we are. We're not the nurturers. But he just got his 2 kids.
It was very clean.
Yeah, he's doing the best he can. Little apartment down in off Buckner and John West in that area. Familiar with that? And his mother lived in the apartment above. And so she would take care of the kids at nighttime when he would go to work. And then he'd come home, get them to school, take a nap, go to work in the evening, you know, drop off his mother, that kind of stuff. So anyway, as we're doing this, like I said, you end up almost staying in touch with these people sometimes for a little bit, sometimes for a long time. As we go back, Francisco has reached out to me and said, hey, I've got more toys. And I said, okay. He said, I'm going to keep on tell the story while y'all think. They play a role in all this too. Everything sort of intertwined. Francisco says, hey, I've got more toys for you. So he says, come get my apartment complex. Because I'd said to him in the earlier meeting, hey, first of all, I think me selfishly, I'm the wrong one, you can make money for yourself. Sell them on Craigslist. He said, no, I want to give. And that was his paying back to society for the ills that he had done. And when we go in there, and I say we, Mindy's not with me now. Now I've got a police sergeant with me. Sunday night, December 23rd, the Sunday before Christmas. Whew. As we go in there, when we walk in his apartment, first thing I realize, it's your typical 1-bedroom apartment. You know, you walk in, there's your little dining room area to the left, the kitchen, there's your little living room. And then where the living room should be is where his mom slept. There's the bed. So they've got a 1-bedroom apartment, and there's 5 people living there. Him and his wife lived there. His sister and her husband lived there. And the grandmother, maybe the other family, they sleep on the one. There's the bed where the living room should be. There is no living room. There's a TV there, but there's the bed. And that's when you go, my lack of faith, man. Like, what are you doing, dude? You know, you can make money to move up. But that's not what he wants to do. This is Christmas giving. He's trying to do the right things for himself. Because your situation, because they truly live catty corner from the lady we had delivered to. They lived in catty corner apartment. And I said, okay. And he had these toys made. And he said, can you take these? Well, what they are, they're big toys. Like I said, they're $200 toys. They're basically doll houses, but they're made out of the nice wooden doll house. And I said, I really don't have room. I can take maybe one. He said, the police station's 30 minutes away from here. I said, I don't know how well y'all know Dallas, but my police station's up by Bush and Coit up in that area, and I'm down in East Dallas. He said, no, we'll drive. Next thing I know, I got 2 cars full of toys. I'm driving the police car with some toys in it. He's driving a pickup truck with some toys in it. And then his sister, remember he lives with his sister and her husband, they're driving a truck. And they follow me for half an hour up to the police station. And so we make our first deliveries to people that have touched our heart and people that are needed. And this is the lady whose husband had been murdered. And when we went back there, they were moving out that night. They had no power. And that's why we have to take our picture in the front of their house, because there's no light in the room, so we got our headlights trying to light us up so we can take a picture. It's pitch black, we're out in Pleasant Grove now. And yeah, those are the doll houses that,
Those are great. Nice.
so those are doll houses that, I call them Frankie, I'll tell you in a minute. You go from Francisco to Frankie. Those are two of the doll houses. And then what happened was, because then you feel bad, because the littlest one here on the left,
The little boy.
that's a boy. And as you're walking out, you go, golly, man, we only had two doll houses in our car at that time. Well, I've kind of forgotten. I forgot now. But it was a boy toy. I can't remember what it was.
It was a firehouse or something. wasn't
Yeah, I
it?
can't remember.
Or like a Superman house or
It was
something.
it was a boy toy that we forgot about front room. They actually go, thank you, God. How cool is this, you know? I mean, because you go, dang it. Oh, man, this is great, God. Hey, dude, you got this one too. So, and like I said, that right there tells you, that's Santa Claus. I mean, this is, wow. And we wouldn't have made that delivery to that lady, but Francisco had called me. Really, he called me the 22nd. We were at a Christmas party. And this was December 23rd, that Sunday evening. So we went back and, you know, like I said, these people touched our heart. They all touch your heart, but, you know, some just. Then, we go back, the security guard lady, her mom, typical of these situations, low income and, you know, low education, her mom was watching her kids. And so now we go out to a different part of Dallas, out in Deep Pleasant Grove. The tall girl front's not part of the family. She's the one that had she had 4 boys. That's one we had a bunch of boy toys. And that little girl's not. But yeah, it's a huge pirate ship. I mean, it was cool. And this is something that Francisco put together, all the pirates and all that.
That's good. I think that's
Oh yeah, well, so.
amazing.
Okay, now I'll tell you, so what happened is, as we do this, and I'll show you some more stuff, I started telling Francisco, dude, I got a nickname for you. I'm calling you Frankie Toys. And so, in my phone, he's Frankie Toys. That's who I call him now.
So those are the people that had nothing in their,
Yeah,
their
this
apartment,
security
except for
guard
little
that had
staple
nothing, and
pictures.
we got in that pirate ship. Remember the 2 boys were the dad?
The rocket ship.
Francisco, you can't see it very well, but you see, he had built a rocket ship, astronaut stuff. And so you go, wow, this is, you know, I'm a kid at heart too. This is cool stuff. So you get down there and play with them for a little bit, like they're your grandkids and stuff. And they were having a blast.
Look
Like I
how
say, look,
excited, look at the face.
yeah, like I say, there's your apartment. You see, it's very simple. The bare bones basic.
Tiny,
That's all they had.
Oh,
Yeah,
it was-
Tiny.
But it was really
yeah, that's
cool.
their living room.
That's a single dad.
So this was late Sunday night, December 23rd. We made those deliveries. And then what Francisco did, or Frankie Toys, he says, hey, I got more. Because I built these prototypes. We're going to do this for the rest of our lives type stuff. And I said, I promise you, Frankie, every toy you give me, I will get built, because I don't have the patience to do this kind of stuff. This takes a while. Yeah, so you hear her laughing. I don't have the patience to build these things. And so it was great because we had friends over New Year's Eve.
You
And-
get a toy.
Yeah.
You get a toy.
Yeah,
You
it was
get
like
a
over with
toy.
me. And I grabbed my He-Man guy friends and say, you know, I don't think you're smart to put this together. Because you know how men are. Once you challenge them, they're going to do it. And now, we had 2 pictures, but I only have one right now, but I'll show you. So what Francisco has continued to donate, these are not good pictures, the last one's the best, I think. One of my friends, a guy named Boo, built that. And I'll follow it up even more. So it's a cool looking train set. I mean, I went to his house after he built it. We've got oh dude, I want to play with that. That's cool stuff, you know. It's like that. And I'll show you. I said we took pictures off the computer yesterday because we had it. Then he built the sandbox. He didn't build the sandbox.
Sandbox.
Yeah, the sandbox is still in my living room in a box.
If he didn't
I don't know if you got her smart enough to do it.
smart enough to put it together.
But if you're an old man that's got time and patience, you just come see me after class because I don't have the time nor the patience. I'm serious as a heart attack because Frankie has told me this is going to continue.
That's great.
Let me give you an example of what this one's sitting in my living room, or not my living room, in our kitchen right now. This gives you an example of That's something.
It's all
Oh,
kitchen.
you built that? You built the whole thing?
Well, what about,
It's
no,
king
these are the
crab.
ones that, these are the ones that came in the box, and I found my my friends. Yeah, this was built by a Dallas police sergeant, because it came in a box, and he works for me.
He was one of the ones
That's the
from
fun of being in the box. He came over
New
New
Year's
Year's Eve,
Eve.
and I said, "Hey, Jose,
Get a box.
you know, Jose, you're my friend, me and Migo." Yeah, but anyway, Jose
That is
put that
big.
together.
So we put it all together.
And you don't, I think, let's tie this all back up. Think about where this is coming from. It's coming from a guy named Francisco Frankie Toys. And think about where he lives. And his situation's not deplorable, he's just poor. It's a nice, clean house, and like I said, he's a good man. And think about what he needs,
That's nice.
and instead of what he needs, he took care of his other needs. And he, like I said, you don't think he'd sell it on Craigslist? Whew. But he gives it away, and my friend Jose built it. And then what we're doing now, like I said, as I build these, I'm trying to find, these are so nice, I don't want these to go to a single family. This needs to go to a group place. Well, I know from Santa Cops years gone by, my daughter number 3 went with me one time. We delivered to a single mother's homeless shelter where each mother gets to live in a 12 by 12 room with her kids. You know, that's it. They have a commons area, and then you get your one 12 by 12. It's down. It's the Annette Strauss Center. Annette Strauss, because I had to look it up. I couldn't remember the exact name. I found it, and so I called the Annette Strauss blank homeless shelter, or it's called, and said, "Hey, I've got a kitchen I want to deliver to you, and the train set to deliver to a commons area. You know, once again, my sexist ways, but you know, the train set for the boys and this for the girls. I know it'll cross over, but you get your boy toy and a girl toy." And they said, "Oh my gosh, we need it. We need it so bad." And I'm not delivered it yet. I haven't had time, you know. And I told them, "Hey, it may be next week. It may be 2 weeks from now." And they said, "We welcome it." And you go back and you tie that back with everything, you know. And and I'm watching the time too. And as you go slow, you start. You know, we start out with empty houses, like I told you, people that needed it, and then we start seeing these people that need it, and then we get to follow it up because of the blessings that were given to us by Frankie Toys. And you go, wow, that was Christmas to me. This man gave his all.
Yeah, because he just heard us knocking on the lady's door and he came out.
Well, no, yeah, plus he helped us
Yeah.
over there. But anyway, that just
I've never seen it.
touched my heart, blew me away that somebody could be that filled with God. I can't think of the right word. It's just filled with God. Love, pure love. So that is only a smittance of what Santa Cops is about and the role that each of us play. The role you play in giving that little toy, big toy, lots of toys, one toy, whatever your role is. And then we play our role in delivering it, and then Francisco played his role, and that's our symphony, and we know who our conductor is. So, thank you very much.
Do y'all have any questions for Alan when he's still up there? We got 5 minutes. Anybody got any questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Where do they sleep? Do they have bedding and warm blankets?
Oh, gosh, no. No, sometimes they, sometimes they get the little beds, garage sale beds. But we've seen it before, laying on the floor with a blanket, sleeping bags, or nothing there, just random.
Well, I have a question.
Yes,
With
ma'am.
that being brought up, the sleeping beds are
Well, you can. but-
sleeping bags?
You can, that's the need for the parents. But remember, now being, I don't know if I want
Santa
to
Cops,
It's
yeah.
a Santa
For the
Cop.
kids.
Santa Cops and
Yeah.
all toys.
Yeah, so it's one of those deals where
Okay.
somehow there has to be another program, and there's many programs.
But keep in mind is also we see that there's a lot less for the older kids, like 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's a lot of little toys, but there's not a lot of,
Yeah,
when we have to
you know who
deliver
gets-
to 11 and 12
Who gets shorted the
year olds.
most? I'll tell you who gets shorted the most in my opinion of that. We've gone back and given stuff like that, but that's like the greatest need in terms of who gets short. Yes, ma'am.
It seems to me like I have seen those little sleeping bags that are just really darling. You know, a little girl might like her little pink sleeping bag if she's having to sleep on the floor with a blanket.
Oh, no.
She could be excited about that,
I guess here's the deal.
to be comfortable every night.
Yes.
You know?
And you're right, I'm really thinking on the fly. That's the right word, playing on the fly. We don't know who needs what. it's based upon what these counselors tell us.
I see.
So, we may go to a house and they got the bed, and so that was something you'd have to just, you play by ear.
Yes.
There's not a hard and fast, because you may go to the house and we don't know who's got beds until we get there, and then, I guess you could do a follow-up. That's the way you do it. Okay, we found this family.
I was gonna say, Hunt County kids do those type things, but again, they do toys. The constable, I don't know if Rockwall has that. I go through the constable, and the parents make a list of what they need, whether it be blanket, bedding, whatever. And they put that on the angel on what the kids want. And a lot of times, that's where you'll find the blankets, the shoes, whatever they need. I don't know what Rockwall or Dallas area does. I know they have the Salvation Army tree. And a lot of them will put toys and different things, as far as your blankets and that type of stuff on them. Because I've been doing this for decades too.
Now, this one's, yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
I
What
take
if
it
you,
before they get
what
to
if
the
you,
room.
like, I'm back to the, something
Oh,
to sleep
please.
on,
May not.
because Mindy's talking, the little girl took her back, she wanted to take her to see her room, and all it was a blanket on the floor. If,
Yeah, that
Like
was
me.
Lisa's house.
okay,
that
could
was-
I not buy sleeping bags for little girls, like Joe Best's talking about or something, and when you go, you could just throw them in your
Right,
car?
right.
And if you saw the need,
Right, that's how you do it. And then you just put the word out to the Santa cops that deliver. If you need these, great. If you don't, pull them back, and you know.
maybe that's a way to do it.
But this sounds so
But
terrible, but I'm thinking,
we only deliver like 10
Yeah.
different
And
places.
remember, this
so
is-
you
this is
can't
Christmas.
have,
This is
like,
toys for kids.
50 sleeping
So-
bags.
Yes.
those other issues are gonna be resolved throughout their life, or throughout the year rather. But yeah, this is,
They sleep on the floor.
someone have a question?
Well, we're gonna run out of time here, but I wanna tell you, what he's talking about, yes, there's a lot of other needs for people. They need food, they need this, but this is just one little section, just like we bring underwear and socks to go to the clothing thing, they need other stuff too. But he zeroes in, this is Santa Cop, and we get to do this every year. You get to go out and buy some toys, and you get to be a part of that. And he sees it, and he comes here to share it with us, so you know it really went to a good place when he does these things.
Well, the thing that stood out with me was how he met Francisco that brought in all of this.
Well,
If
that's
the
just
lady had
unbelievable, yeah.
answered her apartment door, he
Yeah.
wouldn't have met Francisco.
You know, there's,
God put him there.
it's amazing what God can do. You just take the first step, and God shows you the next two steps along there. Well, we certainly appreciate it.
Oh, thank
and
you.
Thank you. I know we'll probably want to do this again next year, and you remember what they kept talking about, the 12 to 14-year-old kids. We had heard that and kind of thought, but
The girls.
we might have to
Girls.
zero in on that next year.
Oh, no. What y'all are doing is great. Just throw in some extra.
Yeah.
Keep buying what you're buying, and then buy some more for 12 to 14-year-old girls.
All right.
Yeah, because it's always fun to buy the baby dolls and
Yeah.
the Retro cars, the Barbies and
Just-
stuff like
your-
that.
Your fun is buying that toy that you didn't get when you were a kid. Right? That's my fun is delivering those toys that I didn't get when I was a kid.
I just wanted to say, Mindy kept saying, look at the face, look at the
Yes.
face. And that the biggest result from all of this is joy.
Oh, gosh, yes.
The joy that the toys give them. I see that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I watch this. It's the joy that the toys give us. Because it gives me joy. You can see my face smiling. I know you didn't necessarily see your toys, but the joy that y'all should have from giving. It's fun. It's fun to shop. It's fun to, I mean, we do it all the time. We're your classic after Christmas, get all the clearance toys for next
Oh,
year.
yeah.
That's the way to buy it. Go buy it right now. Or,
And now my daughter, because we take her, she does it. She
Yeah.
brought like 10 toys the
Yeah,
other day
we-
over
we-
my
so the joy's to everybody. That's
He's got an extra bedroom upstairs, and they just load it up.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you, appreciate. Y'all give them a good hand, both of them. We appreciate that. It helps us. Have a closing prayer. Everybody can stay seated. Father, we thank you for the time that we've shared this morning. We thank you for Alan and Mindy, for them coming and sharing with us so we can see where these toys went. Father, we know there's a lot of needs out there. Sometimes we don't see it, and Alan gets a chance to see it. And I'm grateful that he cares enough to get involved and then come back and share it with us. Go with us now as we separate. Watch over each one of us. Take care of us. Keep us healthy and well. In Jesus' name, amen.